Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Monoxide Podcast for episode 41. I'm your host, Harris, a.k.a. Monoxide, man of many automotive aspirations, and I'm here with my angry co-host today.
Hey, I'm the normal amount of angry, as usual, at this dumbass, so it's pretty normal over here. My name is Sean Bryant. I am your average car enthusiast, maybe a little bit above average. And this is the Monoxide Podcast. Oh, you know what? I totally forgot to mention. I own cars.
I own cars too.
Yeah. No, you own a car, a Golf. But I drive a Hellcat Durango and a BMW 1M. If you see me around, say hey. I love talking about my cars, so I'm super energetic about it. But this is the Monoxide Podcast, where we take you beyond the me and introduce you to some of the people that make our community so great.
You know, cars is the only thing you're above average in. Wink. No, I'm fucking around. All right, today we have our guest, Jacob Jorgenson, which you go back with Sean here. He told me a little bit about you drifting and just having a nice collection of cars, so we just kind of want to talk a little bit about that. You brought a kick-ass 350Z over here, so let's just kind of kick it off with that car, because that thing's freaking sweet. So tell us about the car.
Well, that's a 06 350Z, and I bought it just to buy it. It was a good deal. I was like, oh, you can't go wrong with the 350Z. So I bought it, took it up to Brainerd, raced it around a bunch, and all of a sudden I let my buddy drive it once, and he rolled it down the road course. And absolutely, it was crazy. It was the funnest car ever, and then I let him drive it, and all of a sudden, bang. I'm in the passenger seat of the car, and he's doing laps, and I look over, and we're doing 70. I see it on the dash. We're doing 70, and all of a sudden, I look over, there's a pothole, and he's sliding ever so towards it. And all of a sudden, we hit it. We fly 100 and some feet through the air. We land in a 100% stock car. I thought we were going to be flat as a pancake. And then we landed on the upside down, and then landed on the hatch, upside down the hatch like that. And then it hit the ground and landed. And then we were fine. And we literally landed, boom, boom, landed, awesome. And then he grabs second gear, and all you hear is a drive shaft, dum, 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 hitting the down, we're done. It was so great. And then after that, I stripped the entire car. Me and my buddy, Al, stripped the entire car. And then after that, we just went crazy. And then at that time, I was building a red truck, which is just a 5.3. And then I was like, I need to go bigger. And they were like, what should we do? They're like, should I go supercharger? Should I go turbo? And they're like, why don't you drop a whole new motor in it? And I was like, okay. So then I was like, okay. So I spent the money, built the motor. And at that time, I got a phone call the day after I rolled that Z saying, hey, your motor's done. And I'm like, I know exactly where this motor's going. So I put it in my Z. It was just a full-blown LS7 with LS3 ported heads, so you get more torque on top. And it is an absolute monster of a car. I love it. It's pushing 550 wheel now, and it's just absolutely a tank on the track.
That thing is crazy, dude. And you have it completely gutted. Have you weighed it at all yet?
No.
You're missing a lot of parts on there too, so it's it probably weighs less. But I guess the cage probably adds a good bit of weight too, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what kind of cage is in there?
It's a cage built by a PMF, Basics Metal Fab.
Yeah,
just a full FD spec cage.
Okay. Yeah, and then you were recently up in North Dakota, the same event that Trey was at. That was episode what, 37?
37.
Yeah, 37. So how'd you do at that event?
We did really good during the practice days. I go up there Friday morning. I just run some practice laps. I loved the layout they put out. And I was just up there. I'm known just as a smoke machine because I just put up a wall cloud. And I feel bad for whoever who drives behind me because you just can't see anything. So yeah, the first day was great. Absolutely killed all the laps, everything, and then did some tandem runs. Did really good with that, and then competition day came, did really good, and then top 32 came, and then I won my battle because the guy got lost in the smoke and couldn't see. He literally came around the corner, and you had to initiate at a wall. So it was kind of like a chicane, so you had to come around the corner, and then you had to do an S, and then there was a big wall here, and you had to manji into the wall. Well, he didn't want to manji into the wall into a full smoke cloud, so he straightened, and I got the win there.
Well, what's manji?
Manji is when you're going sideways.
Oh, okay.
just going side to side.
Okay.
Just around a big S curve. But we did that. We took the dub there, and then top 16 came around, and I went up against a guy that a 10-year veteran in his car, and he smoked me just on proximity. He was closer. Me, I'm still learning on how to get close to people because a lot of people don't like to drive with me because of the smoke cloud.
Right.
So it's hard to drive with people that it's hard to get close to people when you don't drive with many people, you know?
Yeah.
So I struggled on proximity, and it was okay. But I took the L there, but no big deal.
So top 16?
Yeah.
All right, that's not
Top
bad.
16, yeah.
How do you get over that hurdle of like seeing through the smoke? Because like obviously like all the professionals,
just gotta commit.
they have to follow behind, you know, all these smoky ass tires and
Yeah. It comes down to user error. Because there's like, if you're following cars, say you're right here, and you're right here, and you're doing the, you're doing the Manjis and or not the Manjis, the tandems.
yeah.
You want to be right by the guy's driver door. There's like a pocket that is no smoke, and you can see everything.
Okay.
But then when you go to initiate like this, and you got to cross over, you got to go through the smoke cloud, but then you're right back into it.
Okay.
But if you fall behind a little bit, you're stuck in that trail.
Yeah.
And you can't do anything about it. So if you fall on your face,
Yeah.
you do something wrong, you can't keep up, it's kind of a dead run.
So proximity is really
Proximity
important.
is key. Especially with a guy like me, you'll never keep up into that smoke cloud.
Yeah, and also
If you cut line and you can keep up to me, you're just fine.
Yeah. Also, you make a lot of power, probably a lot more than some of the cars at that event. So, is it harder for them to like keep up with you,
A lot of
or do you
people-
kind of have to like bring yourself back for them?
So like in a competition, I just go wide open everywhere.
All
I
right.
use my left foot brake. But if like say we're going to Brainerd here pretty soon for Drifttoberfest, I'll lead a pack of just stock 350Zs. And I'll go super wide and just hold left foot brake, and it'll slow me down. And then the wide angle makes it so that they can cut line and suck right up to me. And yeah, I've had stock 350Zs ride my door, but it all depends on how you drive.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's so freaking gnarly, dude.
yeah, it's crazy.
So like people could probably just get lost in the smoke super
Yeah,
easy then.
super easy.
Dude, I can't. So what kind of tires are you running on there right now?
I'm running Kendas.
Okay. Are those a pretty smoky tire?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're pretty smoky. And this is a tire that I've went through a bunch of them, but some tires don't last. Like
Right.
and it depends on where we're driving. Brainerd's asphalt, and if it's hot outside, asphalt eats tires.
Okay.
Fargo is nice because it's concrete. Concrete is actually really nice on tires.
Mhm.
But like, if you go to the road course at Brainerd, I get 2 laps, and I'm completely bald. A brand new tire, completely bald.
I think we've talked to a few people and they've agreed. You know, they get about 2 laps in and then their tires are done for. Versus other people, you know, when they went to North Dakota, I think they got through the whole day on
Yeah.
one set of tires or 2, but way less than if they were at
Oh, yeah.
Brainerd. So, and we'll have to compile what everybody's running for tires.
Yeah.
I feel like, did you say Kendas?
Yeah.
I feel like everybody, that's like a very popular tire. Or is it?
I like Kendas. Kendas are really nice and they're easy to get.
Yeah.
Some tires are easy to get, but they're crap. But
Right.
Like,
Everyone has an opinion. So I posted that one of highlight of like Trey's, like what he does for his PSI and all that stuff or whatever. Everyone's got a fucking opinion. It is insane. Like this guy's like, oh, how are you doing that? Or you shouldn't be doing that much. It's like just ridiculous. So what kind of PSI are you running in your tires?
so my front tires, I usually run at 22 PSI.
Okay.
Just to keep them,
Grippy.
grippy. And then rears is 20 because I don't like going below 20 just because
Okay.
in case of like a debeat or anything, because I like dropping off the course sometimes, and
Yeah.
if you debeat, it kind of ends the run right there.
Oh yeah.
That's a lot less than Trey because Trey said he runs anywhere from 45
And it
to like
Depends
55.
on the car.
And the
When I
power
was
and all
running
that.
my stock 350Z, I'd run 60 PSI, and it was
Oh,
like you're
yeah.
rolling on ice skates.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know? And then, yeah, when my car was stock, I would go to Brainerd with 3 sets of tires. That would last me all weekend.
Yep.
I go through 3 sets of tires in probably 20 minutes. It was my car now.
That's
I go
freaking
up to
gnarly.
Brainerd to like one of our fun events. One of the last events was the DM Bash, and I crashed up there the first day, but we got it back together. And after that, I only had one day. I went through 12 sets of tires in one day.
Oh my god.
And I wasn't even going hard. I was just going out, do my runs, come back, eat lunch, go back out, do my runs. If I was going hard, I would go through all 30 in my trailer.
Jeez.
How do you get all those tires? Like, how do you like?
I gotta buy them in a big package.
You gotta buy them in a big package.
You get a wholesale discount.
Yeah, you kind of do.
You got to trailer all them with you too,
Yeah.
right? How do you install them? Is there somebody at the track?
Most
or-
tracks have a tire machine, or somebody will bring a tire machine and it'll be like,
Okay.
$10 a tire, $20 a set, you know,
Uh-huh.
stuff like that. So that's nice because then I can just burn through all my. I think I have 14 sets always mounted. So if I burn through my 14 sets, I usually go through about 8, and then I start swapping.
Mhm.
So then I have a good 6 left, and then I can go back out there.
This sounds a lot more expensive than golf. Have you
It
thought
is.
about golfing?
I've never tried.
Yeah, I tried it once. I'm getting rid of my clubs, so it's.
I think
not
I
for me.
went golfing once with my dad, and I brought a baseball bat because the ball went farther that way.
I could just imagine. You just was it like what kind
I
of
was
bat
just,
was it?
I was just divoting the ground, bang, bang, bang. I took the baseball bat up, threw the golf ball in there, and whacked it, and the thing was just gone.
Oh my gosh, you can only golf, but you can't use any clubs. You have a billiards cue for on the green, and then you got a bat for hitting long distance.
I would be good at that game, not golf.
Tiger Ruth. I like it.
Yeah.
That works out great. So how long ago did you get into drifting then?
About 2017 is when I got into drifting.
Okay. What made you want to get into it?
So a big drifter around here, his name's Austin Matta. And I saw a couple of his videos of them driving. And I was like, that looks really fun. I've always been into cars. Like, that looks really fun. So I messaged him. I said, hey, how do you get into drifting? He's like, just buy a car. And I'm like, okay.
Easy enough.
I was like, okay, cool. What kind of car? You sent me all these cars. And I'm like, you know what? Like, none of these cars look cool. Like, I want to look cool while I drive. He's like, okay. I got a 91 Skyline GTST you can have. And I was like, okay, how much you want for it? He's like, 10 grand. I'm like, all right, cool. I've never driven manual a day in my life. He shows up with this car. And I'm like, okay, cool. And he gets out of the wrong side of the car. And I'm like, what is that? And he's like, it's right-hand drive. I'm like, oh, that's cool. All right, leave it in the driveway. Like, okay, cool, have fun, buddy, whatever. I gave him the money, gave me the car, made sure he left. And then I was like, we're hopping in the car. And I go to the right side of the car. I'm like, damn it, wrong side. Go to the other side. I get in. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I'm like, oh, man, it's over here. So I learned how to drive manual and right-hand drive car.
Oh my gosh. That's
So I just
brave.
started showing. And then I bought that car, and then Austin had an event. And then I brought it up there, and I'm like, got any pointers? And he's like, yeah, go out there and clutch kick it. And just hold it wide. I go out there, clutch kick it, spin out, whatever. He's like, yeah, just try your best. Just hold it wide. Little RB20 that could, you just got to beat the piss out of it to get it to go anywhere. So, yeah, I did that, and I spun out a bunch. The whole weekend went by. And then my buddy Chance, he's also a big drifter around here. He hopped in the car, and he started giving me some pointers. And then I almost completed the whole track with him in the car, and he's like, yeah, you're doing good, just do this, counter steer here. And then when you're driving, I was driving with my hand on my steering wheel, like I would never let go. He's like, let go of the steering wheel, the car will literally correct itself. So when you go into the corner, let off, the car literally steers for you. So I would do that, and then you just kind of use your hand as a brake. And then I connected the whole course, and I was like, yeah, this is awesome, like best thing ever.
Oh yeah, I can imagine that feeling of falling flat, and then at the very end, you finally being able to complete it.
Yeah. So then I did that, and then I took that car to a bunch of events. I think I went to Omaha, Nebraska. They had a track down there. I did that track, spun out a bunch, but then I figured out how to do everything. But at that time, I didn't even have an e-brake. I was just clutch kicking in the corners.
Okay.
And then I got an e-brake. And then I never used it because I didn't know how to use it. So then I think the winter of 2018, I bought a simulator. And I put an e-brake in the simulator. And then I learned how to use the e-brake on the simulator. And then I went to the track that next year. And I learned how to use the e-brake through the simulator.
Nice, yeah. That's how Trey learned, I think, how to drift.
Yeah, when he was like 12 or whatever, he's like he spent like a whole year, like he just sucked at it and then eventually put it together. Dude, I love watching like T-Pain's videos of like him on the simulator. Have you ever watched any of those?
I have not.
Yeah, T-Pain's apparently a really good drifter. He's in the pro circuit.
Pickle Rick.
Yeah.
I've seen his car. His car's dope.
Dude, did you ever hear the story about that car, like Pickle Rick? Like the hell he went through with that car?
Oh my gosh.
Dude,
I heard it was a pain in the ass.
it was like an 11-episode series of him bitching out the shop. Like,
Yeah.
because like he just finally snapped. It's like, it's like they just kept putting it back and they couldn't give him a date. And he had all these sponsors riding on him and all this stuff. And it's like, just give me a date, dude. Like, let me know what to work with it. If you haven't watched that series, it's the best thing ever.
I'm going to have to.
You have to. So before you got into drifting, were you into like any other type of like motorsport?
So I really didn't do anything. When growing up, I had a 4-wheeler, and then I would always just go to my dad's. I think they had 120 acres up north, and I would just ride around on my 4-wheeler. That's all I ever did. So like that's how I used it was a Raptor 350 with a clutch. So I used that knowledge instead of using my hand to my foot to drive manual. So I used my dirt bike and 4-wheeler knowledge to learn how to drive manual.
Yeah, right.
So other than that, I would just ride my 4-wheeler, and that was it. But I've always been into cars. When I turned 18, I bought this supercharged truck that was just awesome to me.
What kind of truck?
It's called a Chevy Reaper. They only produce 500 of them.
What?
Yeah.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah. It was kind of like a collab. It took a 2015 Chevy, and then they sent it to Lingenfelter, and Lingenfelter put a supercharger on it, put some other parts and all that stuff, and then Southern Comfort would take it after that, and they put like a wide body on it and some Fox suspension and like a big, huge bumper.
Was it like a Baja truck?
Yeah, it was kind of like a dune truck.
Oh, nice.
And but it was like more like passenger wise.
Yeah, more for the road.
Yeah, it was like a roadworthy, like kind of trophy truck with this Fox suspension. So then, yeah, I got that, and then it's the number on it's 199. So it's 199 out of 500. And I was just like, that was my truck. I loved it, and I loved the horsepower. And like back in 2015, 600 horsepower was a lot.
Yeah.
Like that was like, whoa,
Dude,
this is
the horsepower's
crazy.
exploded recently.
Yeah.
Like I
definitely.
just, yeah.
Oh,
Are we-
it's done. His stuff's coming with 800 horsepower.
I know. M5s with 600, that was like big back in like 2015. Like that's when they like re-updated the whole generation, and it was like all-wheel drive too. Like it was like the best daily you could buy, I think, at that time.
I've ranted about this a bunch too, because like a lot of people are like, oh, these EVs are coming or whatever. But I keep telling people like we're in the golden era of cars right now.
Yeah.
Everything's fast as hell. Everything's comfortable. Like yes, they're bigger cars. They're way bigger cars. Like that Mark III Supra that was here. Like that was a tiny little car.
Yeah.
Especially compared to the new Mark V. Like that thing's
It's a little box.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But like right now, like you can get insane performance out of cars. It's just it makes no sense to me. But like we're in a golden era.
Especially with the adoption of hybrid technology, where you're seeing not like
Those cars aren't real.
like the what is it called, the Remera? What is
Oh,
that?
the Camaro, the
Yeah.
Koenigsegg. Oh, dude, that's a whole different level too. It's like even the hypercar people are adopting
That's
it.
nuts.
2,300 horsepower, dude. Like, dude,
That's
and that's different. Like than the Viper I rode in, which is 2,000 horsepower or whatever. But this is like has that instant EV torque, and it's just
That's just gone.
Yeah, it makes your 600 horsepower truck seem like a little baby.
I'm so spoiled with fast cars, dude. Like, what was I in the other day? Like, I actually got to enjoy your 1M because his 1M's manual. I was like, oh man, this is really fun. Like, it's I shouldn't say this, but only 450 wheel, and I'm just like, man, this thing is like dangerously fast because like I was so engaged with it. I feel like that's one of the things
It's
with
a
auto.
whole different feeling.
And it's a
when-
manual. That's
you're
what makes it
driving a
even more
manual.
fun.
Yeah.
Like automatics are cool. You stomp on it, you go. But when you got like a manual car with a decent amount of horsepower, it is a blast.
Oh yeah.
It is a blast.
BMW, the CEO of the M division, I think he just said like basically the only reason why they put M or manual transmissions in M cars is because of heritage. From their standpoint, they don't really want to do it, but because their heritage is racing and it's always been manual.
It makes no financial sense to them to do it. Yeah.
So like
And they pride themselves on fast cars, and a manual transmission slows them down.
exactly.
Yeah.
When people are looking for the best, they want to give you the best, which is the automatic now. But for like you said, like the manual just feels so much more like engaging. Like you actually feel like you're driving.
I loved it. I can't wait to drive that car to Chicago.
Yeah.
So this
We need to get you more seat time though, because oh my god, I got a video of him.
It was my first time in like a year.
Bum, bum, bum. Like, I'm like, oh my god, what's going on?
I had two big mistakes.
I've never felt this car do this before.
Yeah, I'm trying to break your car in, so I did two big mistakes.
Oh my god.
I wanted to go do a pull over here on 169, like the bridge, and I downshifted, and I wanted to downshift into fourth and then into third. I missed fourth, and I revved it to 7,000.
Yeah, he
tire chirp, everything.
Redlined.
You must have hit third or second.
Yeah, he went into second, so he almost
money shifted it.
Yeah. I don't know if there's a like safety feature to keep that from happening, but it did not work.
Safety feature, just don't give me the keys.
Yeah.
The
apparently.
second fuck up, this is the one that he is the most pissed about, I think, is when I came in like into his neighborhood. I came in hot, and I think I downshifted into first, and I'm still doing like 20 miles an hour,
Yeah.
which. Then he reminded me, he's like, when have you ever been in first in your car? I'm like, good point, Sean, good point. So I'm like, all right, second, got it. And then, I got stuck here at the bottom of your driveway too.
Oh yeah.
And then he's like, okay, well, now you need to go first. You're going like 3 miles an hour. I'm like, Sean, we need some consistency in this education.
Well, see, that's what I mean. Like, we need to get you more seat time.
Yeah,
and drive around the city.
Exactly. Because, like, because he taught me how to drive manual. And I did just fine. But again, like when you go a year, I think 2 years almost without
Has
driving.
it really been that long?
I think so, dude. I can't even remember what the last car was that was manual.
Since we drove to
I want to say since we went to Tail. Holy shit. And that's when his clutch was cooked.
Yeah, so it wasn't even like you were driving it.
Have you ever told him the story about how we left the car in Bloomington?
No.
You want to?
Yeah, we can talk about it.
It's your story. It's your car.
Yeah, so I just got the car back from Amola. It just got some new parts put into it. They tuned it, and I was like, we're about to leave for this trip to go to Tail of the Dragon, and I'm like the day before they finally go, hey, your car's ready, but your clutch is going out, and I'm like, oh, okay, so I could probably like make the drive down to Tail and like get it replaced when I come back. I made it like 8 hours into the trip. I was in Illinois, and you could just feel like it felt like you were on ice. Like it was not gripping. It was just dancing. So it was not good. So I'm like,
oh, boy.
Well, we got to park it. Like, I can't take this any further. So we're driving, cruising down the highway. I think we all had custom vinyl prints on our cars. What did mine say? Student driver.
Yeah, we had a big yellow student driver. I mean, it covered the whole bumper, student driver.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and so people were, like, passing by us. I'm doing, like, probably, like, 5 below the speed limit, and people were, like, you could see them, like, they're, like, looking down at us, they're taking pictures of us, pointing at us, laughing.
And he's on the phone just panicking. Who are you talking to? I think BMW, or who are you talking to about your clutch?
I was calling up, like, a bunch of shops or businesses, like, hey, like, I need to park my BMW in your lot for the weekend. Like,
nobody would let you.
Nobody. So
we decided on a hospital.
Yeah.
So it's like, because like we went through like I think it was Jeff who suggested it. I think.
Well, they were way ahead of us, so they like had to stop and wait for us. It took us about like 20-30 minutes to catch up.
Yep. So he's like, you could leave it in a hospital or whatever, because like they're not gonna tow you at a hospital, because like a lot of people probably die.
This is my reasoning. Yeah, like you show up to the hospital, could you imagine like you're getting like emergency services done, and you come out, your car's towed because you parked in the wrong spot.
The doctor spot.
Yeah.
So yeah, he went back there a few days later. Like we ended up riding shotgun it with some people, and he came back with his dad, I think it was. You guys went to go pick it up with the tow truck, and so yeah, that's that fun BMW story. By the way, if you can't tell, my Jocko kicked in. I'm high as a kite right now. I am coked out. No, but so let's see, where do we want? So yeah, you have quite a number of cars then. So then you had that truck then. Do you still have it?
Oh, yeah, I have everything.
Have you sold any cars?
I sold that Camaro.
Oh, was that the Fireball one?
Yeah. That's the only car I ever sold because I got embarrassed in it.
When did you sell it?
I got rid of it.
Oh.
I've sold it in 2019, I think.
The Fireball Camaro?
Yeah.
Does that make like 700?
Made 700.
Yeah.
This is a Pro Charge Camaro 16.
Yeah, I have a friend that has one. He took his up to, I think it's 1100 wheel now.
I think it's crazy.
Yeah, I think he told me there was a second Fireball around here. Dante,
yeah.
You met him?
So I found him on Instagram because I saw him at I think it was Canterbury. I saw the other one, and his profile, it said only Fireball in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And I said, when did you buy yours? He's like, something in 2018. I was like, I bought mine in 2017, so I was first. And then the next day I seen it was gone. I was like, oh, he's not alone anymore, but he is alone now. That car is gone.
Yeah, he's legit. That guy knows how to have fun. He's got some fun stuff in the works. I can't say it. I'm not allowed to. I told him I'd keep a secret, but he's got some rowdy shit coming. So you had that Camaro then.
So yeah, that Camaro. I got embarrassed by a Subaru.
A Subaru?
That's what I mean.
What?
So we were out riding. My buddy had an Evo, and then there was a couple other Evos. Al had his S6. It was slower than anything, but his S6 had that V10 Colorado motor.
Yeah, yep.
Oh.
So we were all like ripping around, and then there was this Subi in the pack with us, and I was like, whatever. And then we were kind of racing, and yeah, the Evo was gonna kill me, no problem. And then the Subi came up. I got the Subi, and I just dusted Alfonso in his S6. I was like, I got the Subi. I'm not the slowest. So then the Subi lined up next to me, and then he literally just took off, and I was literally just sitting there like, what the hell just happened? And I went up and asked him, I'm like, how much horsepower do you have? He's like, 420. I'm like, I just got dusted by a 400 horsepower Subaru? He's like, yeah. I was like, your car just isn't all-wheel drive. I was like, okay. And then, yeah, I literally sold the car after that. And I literally picked up an Evo.
Wow.
And my Evo is like literally the craziest thing I've ever driven in my life.
Which Evo do you have?
I have an Evo 8.
8?
It's an
God, I
04.
love those freaking 8s, man. It's my favorite Evo.
And that's 710 all-wheel horsepower now with a dog box and dry sump and all that stuff, like straight race car. And that thing absolutely smokes everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the newest thing I picked up was a 2016 Liberty Walk GTR,
Oh, is that yours, the red one?
the white one.
Oh, you have a white one. Okay, so
The red one only makes 900 horse. Mine makes around 1,000, 1,100.
I don't know if I've seen yours around. I know there's another guy around here.
It's been in the shop, I think.
Okay.
I only had it for like a week and a half, and the turbo seal started drying up, and then it's just the past owner let it sit too long.
Oh, okay.
And it had its yearly maintenance and all that stuff, but when you let a car sit, everything goes bad. So this oil seal started drying up, and then one of the valves started leaking in the head, so the oil would drip past. I was adding a quart of oil every like 4 or 5 drives. Like it was getting bad. So yeah, I sent it in to get more horsepower, bigger turbos, and new tires. Because every time I drove it, it was just burnouts.
Yeah.
Rolling burnouts, first through fourth.
Nice.
Who'd you send it to?
It's at full blown.
Full blown. That seems to be like
they built the car from the ground up, so I was like, it makes sense to send it back to them.
Right. What year's the GTR?
2016.
16. Okay.
I had a 2010 GTR that I bought just because I wanted a cruiser. Like I just wanted a nice all-wheel drive cruiser. I was gonna drive it in the winter. That's why I bought an older one. And that one ended up having transmission problems.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know
As
that
they do.
2009 and 2010 had bad solenoids.
Yep.
And I bought a 10, and then the solenoid problem hit. So I'm guessing the guy that sold that car to the dealership, because I bought it from the dealer, I'm guessing the guy that sold it cleared the codes, did all this maintenance work on it.
He knew.
It'll drive for 3 to 5 hours before a code sets.
Yeah.
So then I bought it, and then I had it for 2 days, and then a code came on, the transmission code, and then whatever, it sat for a while, and then we went in, I reserviced all the solenoids and all the transmission and everything in it, and then it drove for the fucking 3 to 5 hours.
Oh,
and then all
yeah.
of a sudden, bang, it hit again. Then I was like, maybe it's just because of the way I'm driving it. So then I let my lady drive it after I cleared all the codes, and it even happened to her. We raced my BMW versus my GTR, and I was going 140, and then I called her. I said, "What'd you make it up to?" She's like, 105. Like she was like too scared to go faster than that. I was like, I was trying to see which car was faster. She's like, I was just too scared. I didn't want to go any faster.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, yeah, that's the reason you're driving my car, you know? Like she babied it. She loved the car, but then I started messing up on her, and I'm like, well, the way to fix it is get a new transmission.
Yep.
It's 14 grand.
What?
Yeah, they're expensive on those things. Yeah.
Oh,
14 grand
for a
in new
Nissan?
transmission.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, it's also a supercar killer, so it's like, yeah, I looked into it. Like when I was interested in GTRs, I was looking into it. I'm like, oh, that's how much a motor is and all this. I'm like, yeah, I'm too broke to afford that car because you got to be ready to fix everything. And yeah, those motors are legit. The maintenance. So yeah, it's like you can get one for super cheap, like a GTR. I shouldn't say super cheap, but like, you know, that's
What are they? I mean, like,
You can realistically get one from about 65 to 80.
that's not cheap.
Well,
especially if it has
for
a
a
14,
supercar?
for a $14,000.
Find another
fix.
supercar for less than that. You could find an
Like an
04
Aston Martin.
You could find an 04 Colorado for 94 grand.
right. But like at the point I'm trying to make is like get the supercar performance,
Gallardo.
but you also get the supercar maintenance.
Yeah, you
So
gotta
it's
pay
like-
supercar prices.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
tax. But I thought that was the whole point of like the Nissan GTR was, because it's made by Nissan, it's reliable and it.
Well, you
but
got to
it
think
had
2000,
all the power
the
potential.
last GTR they made was 2002.
Oh yeah.
That was the R34. Stupid to think. From 2002 to 2009,
They had a lot of time for
reimagined
R&D.
the GTR.
They had a lot of time for R&D.
Yeah. So
Well, it is.
yeah.
You could thrash on those cars, but again, like it comes down to, like Mo brought it up. It's like the 09s and the 10s. Like they have issues with the trans, and that's any first and second year car. Doesn't matter if it's a GTR or a Lambo. Who cares? The first and you never buy the first and second year.
generations are always the worst.
Yep, like the, oh man, and the Supras had a lot of problems too as well. Like even though the 2020 you could tune it and all that, but then the 21, I think that's the one that burns a shit ton of oil. It's like let them figure out the first few
Well, it
years.
is a BMW, so
Yeah,
that makes
typical.
sense.
You don't want to be the test dummy on some cars.
Yeah, that's why I always wait. Like if there's a new car that comes out, I'm like, oh, that's sick. Like I'm gonna wait a while before I pick one up, or if I really want it, I'm gonna wait and figure out like, is this an actual good car, or will all the oil dump out of it after a year?
Yep, unless it's like a proven motor. Like for example, like the new M2s are freaking phenomenal, but we've seen the S58 in other cars, so it makes sense. Have you seen what those things make power wise? With just a downpipe and a tune, you're at 700 wheel.
That's crazy.
Yeah, for a car that MSRP's for like 65, 70K,
And what do you actually buy it for?
probably like 90, 80.
Yeah, exactly. So freaking
Yeah, I have a
revvy.
2015 M4.
I love
Okay.
that.
And
It's got the
yeah.
Yas Marina blue,
Yeah. Ooh.
two-door. Is it manual?
No.
No,
He
automatic.
didn't buy a manual because it wanted to be faster.
Had to be faster than you, yeah.
He did. It was faster for a while, and until I brought the Evo out.
Yeah.
And then he didn't stand a chance. But yeah, he did stage 3 dyne and everything.
Oh wow. Okay.
Intakes.
Oh, it's dyning?
Yeah, it's all dyne and everything because he was all about his warranty. So
Mm-hmm.
he did all dyning and it all kept his warranty, everything. It came out to be like 639 horsepower,
Yeah, that's about
That's
right. Yeah.
nice.
and I was all held factory warranty and everything.
Huh. I did not know you could keep the factory warranty with that
Yeah.
dyno. That's freaking sick.
Yeah, because Dynan works with BMW or M Division.
They have like a partnership that
Yeah.
if you go to a specified dealer anointed by BMW,
Mhm.
and you can put the performance BMW partnership parts on, which is through Dynan, and then you can retain the warranty.
Interesting. Yeah, it's so weird how there's like certain like companies and stuff you could do that with. Like,
yeah, it's like a Brabus with
it's like-
Mercedes.
Yeah, it's
They're
like,
their own company, but you can send it to them and they'll do like the qualified Mercedes work. It's all you could take it later to a Benz dealership and they'll still do warranty work.
Yeah, Porsche has some sort of similar program too. I heard. I can't remember with who or what, but
full blown where it has my GTR. They're certified through Nissan to do Nissan GTRs.
Oh,
it's freaking nuts, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So is the Evo your fastest car then?
I haven't raced the GTR and the Evo. The Evo is currently taken apart,
Oh, okay.
but I think they would be a hell of a race.
Who's working on your Evo?
It's at L's Drift Shop right now.
Okay.
It just I had the motor was fully built at RS Motors, and it was amazing. I loved it. The motor came out on the dyno. It was like 809 horsepower with all the hot parts and everything. So then I bought the motor after my other one exploded. Fully built stroker 2.2, and that made I had him just dynoed in at 400 horsepower, and it was amazing. And then I brought it up to 500, 600, and then when I was sleeping, he was messaging me like, "I'm gonna dyno your car." He's like, and then he's like, "Okay, it's at 500." And he's like, "All right, 550. All right, 600. All right, dude, wake up. We're at 700. All right, 710. Like, dude, wake up." Like, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, that's fine. Leave it there. 700. Yeah, cool." And then he's like, "Yeah, I left it as at 710."
oh my
and
god.
and then I ended up like, I'd always loved going on 35 or 494 and finding somebody would always want to race the shitbox Evo that I have, and I would always go on 35. Then I ended up blowing the oil pump out on 35, and I just limped it home. And luckily, it didn't ruin the motor, but there's a little bit of sparkly stuff in the oil, so we just took the entire motor down and we're going through the whole thing, new bearings, new everything, new pistons, just to make sure it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so this happened recently?
Yeah.
Okay.
This happened like 2 years ago. It's just been on the back burner.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you have no shortage of things to play around
I
with.
have
Yeah.
so many things going on right now. I think I have 22 cars in my inventory.
22 cars. Where do you keep all of them?
They're everywhere.
Everywhere?
I got a big storage unit over there at Dakota, and then I have a couple at my house. A lot of them are at the L's Drift shop.
He's kind of like Eric. He's like, just store them at the shops while they're getting worked on.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah, because like Eric is always like,
A couple are at my mom's house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
he always tries to buy a car. He's like, I have nowhere to store it. I'm like, all right, got to send another car to the shop to get worked on. Just keep a cycle going.
Yeah,
It's a revolving door of
exactly.
cars.
I usually go and pick one up, then I bring one there. I drop one off and pick the other one up.
For some reason, I want to ask you, what's your oldest car?
1965 Lincoln Continental.
Lincoln
Whoa,
Continental. Okay.
baller.
It's at my house right now.
What color?
Black on black.
Perfect. That's exactly what you need for a Lincoln Continental,
It's
man.
on, it's on bags, so it sits really low.
Dude, that's freaking sick. You know, it breaks my heart that Lincoln is what it is today.
What are you talking about? I love Lincoln.
No. Your Navigator's cool, but it doesn't have the soul of a Lincoln like the old cars do. It just don't.
Have you seen the ones with they have ones with suicide doors. They have like the newer Lincolns with suicide doors. They're baller.
That's why I've always loved Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
The suicide doors.
Yeah.
They still keep it.
Oh, yeah.
That just makes the car. But yeah, this one's got the suicide doors. It's super long. I only had the car for 30 minutes and the motor blew up on me. It's just old school.
Oh my god,
Story
you're
of my life. I
cursed.
buy a car and it just blows up every
You're
single
cursed.
time. I could probably 15 out of the 22 cars have done that.
Every time you buy a car, you have to factor in how much is it going to cost to replace the engine on
Yeah,
this.
so I had a 5.3 sitting at the shop as a backup motor, and I just throwing that in the Lincoln right now. Originally, I was going to put a 6.6 Duramax in it, but I wanted to drive it before 2030. so,
Dude, imagine a Duramax in there.
oh, it would be awesome.
That'd be
rolling
baller.
coal on
Yeah,
the straight
black on
gangster
black.
mobile, rolling coal. Like, hell yeah.
That'd be so sick. I remember.
Hood stack out the.
Because I'm big into
Hood.
trucks still. I love my diesels.
Yeah.
And I love my cars. I'm like, well, we're going to put a diesel in my car.
Do you have any fun built diesels at all?
I have a brand new, pretty much 2018 truck that I bought in 18, and then I had them delete it, and then they deleted it, and then now I'm putting a big compound system turbo on it, and it's gonna probably come out with 1100 wheel.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's something that we got to get on the
And then I
podcast.
have my
Yeah, we need some more diesel freaks.
We haven't had a single like diesel build, I don't think yet.
No, they're hard to come by. Even though we live in Minnesota, where I
Mm.
feel like there's a lot of people that roll coal around here, and it's so easy to like pick up probably like a 2006 Dodge with a Cummins, and you just fucking
big injectors, and that's all you need.
yeah.
Yeah, freaking gnarly. Yeah,
Yeah, I have a truck sitting in my house right now, a 2011 LB7. Not LB7, Jesus. It's a 2011 LTZ Chevy. It's got a 7.5-inch lift on it, and then the turbo was going out, so I threw a 9-blade turbo in it, and the thing absolutely screams.
Mhm.
Even at idle, it just sounds like it's an airplane. I want to get a big sticker that's on the side that says American Airlines.
that'd be a sweet sticker.
Yeah, the thing is absolutely loud, and yeah, I just turned my little dial up, and then it just puts more pressure into my injectors, and it just absolutely just. Somebody knows I'm mad in that truck. All this black coal all over.
Yep.
I don't give a shit. And the
So-
exhaust pipe, because it's so tall, goes right into their window, so it's even more perfect.
Yeah, I'm always afraid of cutting off any truckers because that's the last thing that I need is to get roll cold on.
Yeah,
I'm not worried about that. So me and my brother kind of have a rule we live by. It's like, don't fuck with any pickup trucks that are 2015 or older. Like the new guys, they're wussies.
Oh yeah, you do something to my truck, like that's why I call it Big Ugly. It's scratched, it's dented. Like if somebody were to door ding me, I would just kick the door open, boom. Hey, sorry about your car. You know, I don't give a shit, and I'll drive away.
Big
I
Ugly.
don't give a shit.
That's such a great name. Terry used to have a Prius back in the day because like so we have Terry on this podcast. He's got like a Ferrari and an NSX and all that. But
oh, I know Terry.
yeah, yep. But he has or he used to have a Prius, and he's like he kind of misses that car because he didn't give a shit what happened to that car. You could
Yeah, that's
ding
the
it.
best kind of car.
You need one of those cars.
One of the cars you don't give a shit about.
Oh yeah, that's
That's
my
my Big
99
Ugly.
Jeep. You know, it's got the big tires. Like if somebody was gonna cut me off, I can hit you with my tires. My tires aren't going to show it, but your car is going to look like it got fucked up.
That's such a good looking Jeep, though. I would hate if anything happened to that thing.
Well, that's why I got to get bumpers put on it, big old cow pusher or something.
Yeah, that thing is so sick. I love that thing. I keep that thing forever. That car is perfect.
Oh, yeah, it is.
It's like that weird brown, like the beige brown.
I seen
but
it. It's out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing is old Cherokee.
Yeah, love it.
That thing's freaking legit, dude.
Perfect for the winter. Drives like a tank. Even in 3-inch deep snow on the road, everybody's going 35 on a 55. I'm still doing 60, just
You
cruising.
could go in the ditch and drive around them if you wanted.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the best part, especially with my truck. Same thing.
Love it.
It's just a tank in the snow.
Yeah.
I miss having my Gladiator. It was a little bitch truck, a little hairdresser truck, but I mean, it was a fun thing. I miss it. Just go over to curbs, drive into ditch. Like Eric, he just, I don't know if I should say this on the podcast. I'm gonna say it anyway. He got a ticket driving on the shoulder because he has a TRX. He was just cooking in that thing. Yeah, I got into it with a TRX on the freeway yesterday.
Oh, really?
Me and my brother stood side by side at the stoplight, just creeped at 1 mile an hour because he was acting like a dick. So we'll play games like that every once in a while. But
well, all you got to do is go 105 miles an hour and he can't catch you.
Is out there limited at?
I think it's 105, 110. I think.
Oh, that's not too shabby.
They can't
That's
go.
a party foul.
It is, and it's because of their tires. They're not rated for high speeds, so
Yeah, true.
so you can't go any faster than that. And then I think you just lose grip and you're all over the place.
Speaking of party fouls, do we want to bring up the Durango?
What's wrong with the Durango this
Talk about
time?
his party.
You remember the limiter you had?
The what?
The limiter?
The limiter?
Yeah. So he got all this work done to the Durango.
Oh my god! When we went on,
my 2015 Chevy, my first one, that Reaper, 98.
that was the top speed.
That was it. At 98 miles an hour, I was like, I need to go find a shop to get this out.
That's a shame. Yeah, I hate that. When the speedometer says 140, and then it only lets you go up to 100. And it's like, what'd you give me 140 for? Who is this for? Not for me, obviously.
It's for aesthetic. So when you're driving, they want the needle pointed straight up.
Yeah.
Yep. So what was your Durango limited to?
So last year, I got it tuned for the first time. I think I just got all the mods done to it, and the tuner, whatever file they thought they were the presets, it was the speed limiter for all Durangos are it's set to 120 or something. So I'm flooring it. I'm thinking, because I've gone 160 in this car before, and I'm flooring it. I get to 115, and then it just shuts off. I lose all power. I'm like,
You just hit a
whoa.
wall.
Yeah, it was whoa, what just happened? Did I just break my car? Because I just picked it up. First time I've gone this fast in it. And I'm calling my mechanic, Bryce, and I'm telling him hey, something's wrong with the Durango. He's like, no, that's how fast it should be going, 120. That's the max speed. I'm like, that's absolutely not true. I've gone 160 in this. And then he's looking back through the files, and he's like, oh, you want to know what your actual limiter is at? I'm like, what is it, 200? He's like, higher. I'm like, 220. Higher. He's like, it's set to 280 miles an hour.
Jeez.
That's what from factory it's usually set to. So then
Unlimited.
yeah. So and then I'm like, okay, well, just top it out at 180. I'm never gonna take it any faster than 180. So
Yeah, that was so funny. That was the rest of the trip. We couldn't go over 120.
yeah. Well, good thing.
Just holding it there too, just to the floor, and it's just
Yeah, you got a ticket.
steady wall.
I can't imagine that's good for your car.
No. Especially revving up that high for that long.
Yeah.
Me and my freaking brother. So we wanted to find out what he was limited at, actually in his Golf, and mine's twice the horsepower and tuned and all that stuff. So we just take it up. He's like, yeah, I just hit a wall at 125.
Oh my god.
That's the same for a lot of
That's what's scary
civilian.
in my GTR. My speedo says 220, and I'm like, it would be so gnarly to see that needle hit 200.
I know.
But it's my god.
I saw
one day I want to hit the 200 mile per hour club.
I got close to it. I saw the needle hit 189 in a Viper.
I hit 180 in my 1M.
Yeah.
177 in my Camaro.
Yeah.
That was it. I've never had another open road. I want to take this GTR and see how far it gets. I think it'd get up there pretty high, but it's just finding a road that I'm not going to get put in jail right away and car impounded.
Eventually, you kind of just run out of gearing, though, right?
I'm pretty
A lot of
sure
gear- a lot
if
of
you
cars
got
run out
caught
of
going
gear.
200 miles an hour, they just pull you over and shoot you.
They're taking everything, literally.
Dude, I feel like at that point, you just keep going. If you're going
Like
a buck
Tokyo
80,
Drift, you're going over 200. They don't even move.
Oh yeah.
they just look up. Fuck it.
202. He's good.
So Sean was telling me you also won like a giveaway car as well.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, that was really cool. I saw
there's a
you
drift
won a
page.
giveaway.
There's a drift page, and they just buy like street cars, drift cars, and I've always, been about that. Like, I used to do the 80/80 stuff, but I'm like, to me that just seems really rigged. Like, you watch these videos of these guys walking in, just won a Ferrari, and he's just walking in like, yeah,
like, "Oh my
sick,
God."
dude. Oh my God. I'm like, dude, I would be on the ground.
I'd be crying.
And I'd be like, you give me $100,000 and a Ferrari? All right, cool. I'm gonna lay on the ground real quick. Like, it doesn't seem genuine to me. So I was like, whatever. And then I just did this small page, and then my buddy Austin, that got me into drifting, he actually won a car from them. So I was like, oh, it's actually legit. So like I started going, whatever. Then I entered this car, and it's called the JZX90. I didn't even know what the hell it was. I was like, it's right-hand drive, and it's got a 1J. I'm like, sounds good to me. So then I entered it, and I'm playing Rocket League, just gaming on the computer, and Austin calls me. He's like, you won. I'm like, dude, I'm down 1-3. I'm getting my ass kicked. What do you mean? I thought he was like, because a lot of my buddies will come in, and I'll be gaming, and they'll be standing behind me like, dude, you trash. Like, they'll call me and be like, yo, you're trash. And I'm like, nah, I'm down. Like, what do you mean? He's like, no, you won the car. I'm like, what car? He's like, the JZX90. I'm like, what the hell's a JZX90? He's like, dude, go on Facebook. I'm like, okay, I'm going on Facebook. And yeah, the guy called me. He's like, yeah, you just won this car. I'm like, sick, that's dope. I still don't even know what it is. And then, yeah, it showed up. And I was like, this is dope. Like, super cool. I didn't even know it was a thing. And yeah, I love it now. Just right-hand drive, just 1JZ. I don't even know how much horsepower. I need to have it dynoed.
How many giveaways had you entered at that point?
A lot. I
Wait,
was probably
what was the score? Did you win the Rocket League game?
no.
You didn't come back.
No. He won in a different
I actually
aspect.
left the game. I was with a buddy. I was like, I gotta go. I guess I won a car, and I left the game.
Imagine your buddy being like, "Wait, what the
Forfeit,
fuck?"
Yeah.
He heard the whole conversation.
Yeah.
He's like, you won the car.
He's
I'm
just
like,
thinking like, what the is going on? He just got a car?
yeah.
Was this Jeopardy?
Jeopardy.
Yeah. I won a couple other things from them too. Like, before that, I got second place on a raffle. Like, they gave a car away, and I got second place, and they gave me some really expensive rims. They sent me 4 expensive rims, like $4,000 in rims. And then I won that car, and then I just won another set of rims, some stage wheels. I was like, yeah. So I probably has been in it since car number like 12, 15, something like that. And then now they're on like car like number 60. But it's like that
wow.
JZX90, I paid $600. It's $150 per ticket. I paid $600 for 4. And then, yeah, I ended up winning it. The car's valued at $26,000. That's what they said that they bought it for. So I was like, wow, that's kind of dope. And then, yeah. But now it's getting to the point where it's like they're giving away like 240s or like old. I'm like, I don't want a 240. Like, unless it's got like a super dope V8 in there or something. But yeah, I love it.
How many spots were in like the raffle?
I think that one was 350. No, maybe more than that.
So that's decent odds,
350.
like 1.5% odds or something. That's
Something like
What is that like? So,
But
how
it's
much
like
money
adrenaline pumping, like, because they go on random.org and they type 1 to 350, and all of a sudden it's like, bang, and then it hits your number, and it's like, oh my God.
dude. I used to gamble a shit ton on CS:GO
Oh my
cases.
god,
I know.
dude! They made 52,000. If they sold every
Yeah.
ticket, they made
Yeah.
52 grand. When are you doing your giveaway?
So I
what I
actually
mean,
talked to
like-
Charles. He actually works for Motion Auto TV. So they do giveaways like this too. That's actually how they make a good chunk of change. And they actually did a podcast where they explain like how much, like they were pretty transparent about it. So it's like it's a good chunk of change you can make off of giveaways, but it's also a lot of work.
A
apparently.
lot of people throw in a lot of stuff too, like the wheels. Usually they send wheels in, so that's another 2 to 4,000. Then they're giving away merch items. A lot of time they give away parts. They give away stuff like that. Like,
Yeah,
all said and done, they probably make 10, 15 grand a car.
At least.
they
yeah.
they still
But
doubled up.
Still, yeah, that's a good chunk of money.
Yeah. Well, what do they say? Your profit margin's got to be at least 50%. But it's like it's legit because like a lot of the times you have to buy merch You know, like the 80/80 stuff, you had to get their merch
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So it's like they just make a killing on it, but they also take on a lot of risk too with those sort of things. I mean, now they got a good flow going, but like the first few, nobody could have known, like, hey, is this going to work out?
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's what I always think. I'm like,
a company to put up their first car that's like decent, like to buy a Ferrari or buy a Lambo or a GTR, you got to have a GTR on like 125, but a Lamborghini, you're talking 300K.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trey was telling me, I asked him like if he would ever do a waffle again, and he's like, yeah, no, it's just so much work.
It's a hassle.
Yeah, it's
then
a
you have
hassle.
to make sure and go through and prove everything's legit and like
Yeah.
double check everything, because if one guy goes and starts bad mouthing you because he thought it was unfair, you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. People get really pissed about that kind of stuff if they feel like they get cheated.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's the you get fingers cut off for that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we used to always look into like websites, like when I used to do like my CS:GO gambling back in the day. Like we would always be like, "Yeah, this site's a fucking scam." And we would just, just go, just shout it from the rooftops and all. It's like, "Yeah, fuck that site." So
Like a lot of the giveaways, you can enter in them for free. Like, you ever heard of Omaze? They
No.
do like
I've heard of Omaze.
they do like supercars. They give away vacations. They do like
They give you a whole house.
Yeah, dude, they give away like everything. Like if you're into something, they'll give it to you. And they have like, oh, you have to buy like and whatever money you donate, it goes to like a charity.
Yeah.
I don't know how they profit. I saw a video on how they actually profit, but there's also like an opt out where it says like you can enter for free, but you can only enter like 1,000 tickets, but that's still 1,000 chances. But there's also everybody that also knows can get 1,000 free chances, and then you also have people that are paying like $100 for extra chances.
Yeah.
But
yeah, there's a multiplier and all that stuff. Because like the thing is, if you got 1,000 tickets, this guy's got 1 million. It's like
Then you get like the 5 times entry today.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did the own boss thing, and like I hated doing, like that was before all the giveaway. Like the own boss, they usually do a truck, a trailer, and like a bobcat. Like I was like, that'd be sick to win like a big truck and a bobcat. And like I liked what they did. They did like a lot of the times like 80/80, you got to buy a shirt. Every $5 gets you whatever.
Yeah.
It's like there's only a certain amount of shirts that I want, and then sometimes I'd buy 2 of one. It's just like I run out of shit to buy. But like this own boss one, they had a shirt on there. It was $1,000. It just said, just give me my tickets. And then the shirt said, I like to gamble. This shirt cost me $1,000.
Oh my god.
So I bought it anyways. I still have it in my house. I'm like, I wear it around. Like they're like, does that shirt actually cost you $1,000? Like, fuck yeah, it did.
Dude, I kind of want to buy that and show up at poker and be like, yeah, what's up? I like to gamble.
This shirt cost me $10 or $1,000.
I got 10 of these.
Yeah.
yeah.
It was like 10,000 tickets to buy it.
Pull that a little bit closer, by the way. Just
Sorry.
no, you can just pull the mic towards you too.
I'm fine.
Yeah, but yeah, because I made a big mistake on the Jim Hall episode. I'm sure some people gave me shit for it, but like when I was editing it, like I cut out all the, like the low decibels or whatever, so like it would taper off like this, and it just it was so bad. I felt so bad. I was listening through. I was doing the highlights. I was like, oh no. I was like, that's a fuck up. So yeah. So oops. So I don't do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But so you have all this. So have you only won that one giveaway car then?
Yeah. Austin's
what are the
won
chances?
2.
Oh, really?
It's funny. Like it was like a 2-year split. He won like a 03 350Z with a cage and all this stuff. And then like 2 years later, he won another, I think it was an 05 350Z with a cage. I was like, crazy. He won 2 cars back, like the same exact car.
What does he even do with them?
Most of the time, he just drives them around and then sells them. A lot of people win these cars and then just sell them.
Dude, I'd much rather take the cash, honestly.
I don't know.
Some dude, I think it was Drive Tribe or one of the big car websites posted. Some guy won from 2 different giveaways. He won a TRX and Evo 8.
Oh, I saw that.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
He had to pay the taxes, and I think he had to sell it because like you got to pay a gift tax, and it was like crazy, like $10K plus dollars. I think that's why they give you the cash on top
Correct.
of like
That's
the
why they
cars,
do.
so you can basically pay off the tax.
A lot of it, like, there's another one that's called the Lab or something, the Legends, and they'll give you like 100,000. So they'll give you, I think, 64.
Yeah, they got like a Porsche
the
up
car
right now.
tax. They'll give you 60 for like the tax, and then they'll give you the other 40 for the next 3 years insurance.
Oh, that's nice.
That's legit. Yeah,
Because a lot of people can't afford the insurance on those cars.
I couldn't afford an insurance on a Lamborghini. Like, that's, a house payment for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's up there.
You know what's funny? So actually, speaking of insurance on Lamborghinis, I was talking to this kid that is in my neighborhood at Amazon, whatever kid.
Right, the 19-year-old Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, 19 Jeff Bezos. So he posted on his story what he's like the payment he just paid on his Lamborghini. It was like $2,100 or whatever. So I'm like, hey, hold up, I got a guy because like a lot of people in the car community, they go to somebody called Matt Nelson. He's down in Chicago, or whatever. He will hook he's like an insurance broker, and he's saved my ass a couple of times, or that one time on the rally or whatever. But yeah, a bunch of people go to him. He saves them a shit ton of money because he just finds them somebody new to do insurance through. So I sent the details of this kid or whatever. He's like, yeah, 19 years old for a Lamborghini is a really tough one to insure. So he's like, yeah, that probably ain't gonna work out.
Yeah, a lot of liability on there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because he's got a ton of like insurance, whatever like companies that he works with, but like none of them will insure under 25 when it comes to exotics. Like I know my friend, he had a GTR at 19, 20. Even that car, they didn't want to insure. Like it was just ridiculous. Like I think even Haggerty wasn't wanting to do it for him. But to be fair, that kid, he had a lot of fucking tickets. But yeah, it's freaking nuts. Like $2,000 a month. But it's like that's only if you're super young. Like I think like once you get into supercar insurance, it's actually not too terrible. I think the AMG is 300 maybe.
Well, yeah, your dad's in his 40s?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's two big drop-offs. It's when you turn 25 and then 30. That's when your insurance rates go down. So I'm waiting for 30 before I start, maybe considering even looking at cars like that.
Yeah, for me,
I'm perfectly fine with a Durango and a BMW. These cars do it for me.
Well, it sucks around here because it's like, oh, I want a McLaren. Oh, my neighbor's got one. This guy's got one. This guy's got one. Oh, I want a GTR.
Yep.
There's 7 on this block.
Yeah. The
Oh,
GTRs
I want a Lamborghini. Oh, there's 3 of them around here. Oh,
Yeah.
you want an R8? My neighbor has one. Right up the street, they got one.
that's where you
I
start
want a
getting into
Ferrari.
builds.
Yeah,
Terry's got one.
Well, that's what I like about building out cars.
And that's that's where I learned
uniquely
that
yours.
building is better than buying. That Camaro, I bought it was fast.
Yeah, and also
but then I
also
built the Evo, and now that's even more fast.
And plus, we drive our cars.
Oh,
like
I drive
I never
everything.
see any of these cars on the road.
No.
So it's so different versus like when you buy it and you just hold it and it just sits in your garage versus like taking it out and showing it off, or not like showing it off, but like sharing it with the people.
I won't buy a car unless I can daily it.
Like even in the winter.
My GTR is different. Like around here, I would never. But like I would never buy a car just to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could never.
No garage queens.
Like my GTR, the car had 8,900 miles on it when I bought it. The guys had it from 2016, and it had 8,900 miles on it. I put 750 on it in the 2 weeks I had it.
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like,
Oh, I gotta go to the gas station. I'm taking the GTR.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's how like
I
my
had these kids run out of a car, stop me in the middle of a road, and they did a photo shoot in the middle of the road and then ran away.
oh hell yeah.
Like it was crazy. They were geeked. They're like, "Can we take some pictures?" I'm like, "Sure, go ahead." Yeah, the guy was laying on the ground with the phone, like everything.
Uh-huh.
And I was like,
Yeah, you got to give the people what they want.
yeah. And the same thing with I have an R34 GTT.
Okay.
And people love seeing that thing.
Do you have an R34?
Yeah,
What?
yeah. This is stock GTT, but I have the R34.
It doesn't matter. It looks like an R34.
I
It's
have
an
a
R34.
32, a 34, and a 35.
Like you got the holy trinity.
Yeah.
You got, is it blue?
No,
What color is the 34?
it's white.
White.
All my Skylines are white. My 91 is white, my 35 is white, and my 34 is white.
I wonder if I've ever seen the 34 around.
Did
Did you ever bring it to like Cars and Coffee when I was over here or anything?
But
yeah,
it's
you
fun.
don't really go to car shows.
I don't really do car shows.
Really?
I'm not one to show my car out. I'd show up, I'd park it, and I'd lock it and walk away.
Well, that's how you're supposed to do it. I feel
Yeah,
like
I mean
yeah.
that's what we do.
Yeah, like
There's kind of two camps
I
when
would
it
show
comes
up
to
with
that.
people, but like me, I would never just go to a car show and like show off my car. Like my car is my car.
Right.
I didn't buy it to impress people. I bought it to impress myself.
Yeah.
That's the best way to live about it too. Like I don't know. Like there's kind of two camps, and I give people shit for this all the time. It's like you go and sit right next to your car the whole time, let people approach you, and then you talk about it. which is boring because you keep repeating the same thing, or you park your shit, let people enjoy it, but then you go walk around, see what everybody else is up to. That's the way we like to operate. Like, we'll go walk around. Like, we don't want to stay in one spot for too long.
My funnest thing I like to do, I used to go to truck shows all the time because I had a big lifted truck. So I'd go to the truck show, and I'd always bring a buddy with me. And if somebody came up to be like, oh, whose truck? I'd point at him and be like, it's his, and I'd walk away. So then he got stuck talking to everybody. And it was like, that was just my favorite thing. Like, it's his, and then I'd walk away. I do it to my lady all the time. Like, oh, whose car is it? It's hers, and I'll walk away.
That's so funny.
She's like, what's into it? She's like, I don't know.
She's like, oh, poser.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, whatever.
I'm gonna start doing that to you.
That's fine.
You know nothing about any of my cars. You're gonna be like, actually, I'll be right back.
I could spitball a lot of stuff.
Oh,
I could be like everybody at Brainer and be like, oh, it's 1,000.
You
could just say a whole bunch of stupid shit.
You could just Mad Libs it.
That'd
be hilarious.
I should just start coming up with upsearch it. Yeah, it's got the Durango's got a 2J in it. Just start fucking with
Can you
people.
pop the hood? No, the latch don't work.
That actually would be hilarious. Oh my god, I should get the microphone at shows. Be like, what do you think's in this car? Like those interview style videos. Yeah, it's freaking ridiculous. So, do you have any upcoming like events you're doing besides the Drifttober?
There's Drifttober in Fargo, and then there's one in Brainerd too. They're both called Drifttober, but other than that, I don't really have anything.
Okay.
But what's cool about that, back to the R34,
Yeah.
back in 2017 when I had that R32, I tore it all the way apart, and I bought an R34 GTR engine with a tranny. So I never used it. I was going to put it in the R32. I never used it, but now I have the R34 exactly. So I'm going to put the GTR body kit on, and then swap the RB26 and make it all-wheel drive. So I'll have a GTR.
The rattling from the can is driving me insane. Oh my god, it just kept rattling off his.
Your whole deal with transplanting and like taking the hearts from everything, and you're like, oh no, this is going over here. This is going over here.
And then the R34 motor is an RB25 Neo, and I'll put that in the R32.
That'll be sweet.
Jeez.
But what's crazy is like right now, just the transmission, because those things became legal in May.
Mm-hmm.
I bought the car for $38,000, imported to the U.S. $38,000. They said that exactly May 1st, that price would have went from 38 to 55, just because of it's legal.
Yeah.
So I pre-ordered it and left it in Japan from December to May, and then as soon as May hit, they shipped it here, and it's So now just that motor is worth like $25,000, and then the transmission's worth like $16,000, and I paid $16,000 for both.
What kind of idiot would play a stock market? Just buy Japanese cars that are about to become legal. That's how you get really rich. That's freaking
like,
sick.
how would you know? Back then, I didn't know. I just wanted an R34 GTR motor.
Yeah.
That's actually really interesting that you bring that point up, because like I was always wondering, like when they become legal, like there's one of two things that could happen. It's either the market gets flooded and the price goes down.
Build date.
Yeah. Yep. Either the market gets flooded and then everything goes down, or like what happened here, the prices just shot up. So I was actually really curious to see how that played out.
It would be like the early adopters obviously would get in, but the longer you wait, the more that the market's going to get flooded with, R34s. Everybody who's buying like R34s for like $300,000+ in a
like a V-spec, anything like that, you're not touching it for less than $250.
Yeah, so I'm curious. What I'm curious to see is in maybe I want to say probably like 5 to 7 years, what the prices end up actually falling back down to, because
it'll probably come down because it'll be flooded here.
Yeah, because a lot of people are buying them and they're holding on to them and they're going to sell them here for a crazy amount of money, and then all of a sudden there's going to be a fuck ton of them getting sold. And
potentially, but I think what will happen,
there's a market cap for everything,
the
right?
The market right now is super high because they're limited. Only 98s are eligible.
Yeah.
99s aren't eligible till next year.
Exactly. So that's what I mean. Like the market cap is super high, but once you get more cars, then it's gonna, muddy the waters. It's gonna get back down to probably like 100K. I want to
chump change for a guy like me.
No, but I mean like right now
down.
you're seeing Supras sell for like 100K, and they're they're modded like untastefully, and people are still asking for like high 90s for them, and it's like, whoa, like these were selling for like 30K stock like back in 2017, 2018. Like
I love seeing the price tags of those cars brand new.
Yeah.
$15,000.
Yeah, MSRP.
Yeah.
Like a guy that I met down in Tampa bought a shit ton of like Cudas and stuff like back in like the 70s when they were like what, $3,000, $4,000, whatever they were back then. It's like, dude, some of those cars command $1 million now. It's like insane. Yeah. So I think it's gonna be interesting. I think the prices will come down, but I think we're gonna see what happened with the Supra. It's just gonna start taking off again after like 5-10 years probably.
See, that's
what's crazy about the Supra though is like left-hand drive Supras are worth more than a right-hand drive Supra.
Yeah,
really.
Because you gotta think the United States is the only state or only country that has left-hand drive. Every other country is right-hand.
Right.
So there's more Supras that are right-hand drive than there are left-hand drive.
Oh,
Supras.
so they're rarer.
So it's a more rare thing to have a left-hand drive Supra.
I always thought it would be just for
like
the,
it's cool
collector.
to have a right-hand drive Supra, but I think of it like as a more poor man Supra than like a actual genuine Supra.
I always thought of it as like the collector status. Like you want, because it's Fast and Furious. The only reason why this car is so popular is because of Fast and Furious.
Same with the R34.
Same with the R34.
People didn't even know what they were till Fast and Furious came out.
Exactly. So that's why I see like the right-hand drive. Like people want almost like a 1-to-1 replica of Paul Walker or somebody, some car from that movie. Like they want like the genuine thing. What did Paul Walker's Supra sell for? Like over $500,000 or something.
Something
it
ridiculous.
keeps going up every time it gets sold. It's like another $100,000.
Well, especially like once that generation comes into wealth, which we are starting to see nowadays. Like every 19-year-old's rich apparently. It's like as those people come of age, that price is gonna keep going and going. Like kind of like the Audi R8s, like the first gen. Like their price has been flying up again because that's the Iron Man car everybody saw back then.
Tony Stark drives that.
Yeah, that's how I see it. As the first gen being the Tony Stark car.
When are you gonna get the patch down here to look like Tony Stark? I think you can pull
Halloween.
it off.
Halloween. I'll start growing out right now.
How long, are you gonna be able to grow it in time? You don't grow very fast, do you?
How dare you?
I've never seen you with like a full beard.
No, because I can't.
You can't.
No.
See, knew it.
I
Saw that one
have
coming.
weak jeans.
Have you thought about getting more expensive jeans?
No.
Do you bedazzle your jeans?
No.
All right, I'm done with the stupid jokes.
Okay.
So you seem like a big Nissan guy. Do you have any? Have you had like a Mark IV Supra?
I've never had a Supra or anything like that. Never had an RX-7. It's
Okay.
just like I kind of just went with the Skyline route for a while.
Okay.
And then I went Evo, but it's just like everything fun kind of landed in the Japanese side. Like anything turbo related was always Nissan or Mitsubishi. Like that was way more fun to have turbos. Because, like, there's nothing cooler than when you spool up turbo and it just hits and you just get slammed into your seat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, any, like, U.S. car, like a Camaro, like, they never came. They came supercharged.
Right.
But that was just a burnout machine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my Camaro had a Pro Charger on it, and you stomped on it at a red light. You're sitting there, but there's a big cloud behind you.
Yeah.
My Evo, I take off, and I'm just gone like a rocket ship.
It's ridiculous when you start like modifying some of these like American motors though. Like we just had Mo on 3 episodes ago. He's got an LS swapped RX-7, and it's like only 620 wheel right now.
And
but
the torque is what's crazy. It just grabs, just goes.
And he was telling us it's capable of 1400 if you wanted to. It's like
God.
freaking nuts. Like the other day, I actually got to go. I'm actually dropping this video here soon too. The swapping keys up. So actually, by the time this podcast is out, it should be out. But I went for a ride in a twin turbo R8, and it was, low boost, 5 PSI, nothing crazy, but it's like 820 wheel. And it's like we got into 4th gear, and it just wanted to keep going. Just ridiculous.
Just a pull. Like my GTR is constant pull. You just constantly get sucked into that seat, and it's like no letting off.
Yeah, I haven't been in a faster GTR. I think the fastest GTR I've been in was 600-ish wheels. So I've never been in like a 1,000 horsepower one. I'd love to see what that compares like, because I know AJ used to have like a 1,500 horsepower one, but he loves his freaking. He's got Calvo Viper right now, and that's like also 1,500 wheel. Just it's different.
Yeah, what's it called? Al was working on a 1,600 horsepower GTR. I was on bead locks, all that stuff.
What color is it?
It's red.
Red. Okay.
And it's like a maroon.
Okay.
He was working on it, and he's like, this transmission sounds funny, and can you come like hear it? So the guy showed up, and he gave me a ride, and then the transmission it had straight cut gears, so it'd whine, but it would like grab really weird. It would be like a thump. I'm like, yeah, mine does the same thing. He's like, okay, cool, but it was having some problems with the ECU. It would go into limp mode. Like, he gave me a 5-second pull, and it literally just felt like somebody just took their hand and just slapped me into the seat. And I was like, wow, my GTR does not feel like that.
It's ridiculous. Like, I used to explain to people. So I went for a ride in my buddy's, twin turbo Viper. And I think it was, 1800 wheel or whatever at the time. And the way I like to explain it to people, it's like, if you were to jump off a building, okay, for whatever reason, let's say things aren't going well in life, if you were to jump off a building, and the moment that your face meets that concrete, that's the level of force that car does, even in fourth gear. Like, it just keeps going. Like, it just gets more and more and more power. And it's just, the more fast cars I've been in, it's nuts. It's
so hard to explain that feeling to somebody.
Unless you feel it, yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean? Like, I could tape a $100 bill to the dash, and you won't be able to touch it.
That's the whole test.
Yeah. So that's something I think. My
Evo is the same way. You can't touch it.
Yep.
We've talked to some people with higher horsepower cars where it's stages of power where, in first gear, you don't need, 1,500 horsepower.
Oh, no.
The car only uses maybe 400, 500, and then you get into second gear, then it goes up to 1,000, and then as you go up to the gears, that's how you feel like that progressively, more power. Because as you're going up the gears, you're unlocking more power. Because otherwise, first gear couldn't handle 1,200. It literally would shear the teeth.
You would just blow the tires off. We just had a tuning special with Kyle Larkin, who does a ton of tuning over at MAP Performance, and
that's like saying modern automotive performance.
Sure, whatever. But why you gotta kill my flow, bro? But no, we
went on. It's MAP for a reason, not MAPP.
You done?
Yeah. I just want to say that.
He's like, I gotta clarify. But no, we learned so much about tuning, and it's ridiculous. Again, I just have a lot of, I shouldn't say knowledge, but I've been around the Viper people a lot. It's 800 in first gear or whatever, and it just unlocks more and more and more. It's I forgot what the other term is, but I know boost by gear was really popular, and I think a lot of people still use it. But there's another level of tuning. I don't know. Maybe Kyle brought it up, but
yeah, we gotta I think we need an expert on.
Yeah, I'm not talking out of my ass, but it's just ridiculous how it just keeps going and going and going. But yeah, just something about fast cars, dude.
It's all about fast cars. That's literally that's my addiction is cars and going fast.
Yeah.
That's what makes everything.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see more and more people discover that's one of the other reasons that Viper has just shot up in prices, because it's such a great platform to work on. I know some guy here within the neighborhood just picked up a white Viper or whatever.
That's my neighbor.
That's your neighbor? Okay.
Oh. He's like, can I borrow your dually? And I'm like, no, nobody just borrows my dually. He's like, what if we do a trade? I'm like, it'd have to be a good trade. He's like, I'll give you my Viper. I'm like, take the dually. Sure, go ahead. My $80,000 dually is no compared to his $160,000 Viper. Sure, I'll take that. So then I drove around for probably 2 weeks straight. But it's crazy. It was a 6-speed manual.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's just but what blew my mind is how fast it redlined.
Yeah, yep.
I thought it was gonna go rev way up, and it's just you're in first gear and whoop, red line, second gear red line, third gear red line, then fourth gear it actually catches up. You pretty much just boom, 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 and then you're caught up.
Yeah,
God, I can't wait to finally get to be in one. I've never even sat in one.
What's crazy though is that Viper is only 750 wheel, but there's no spin. It's just hook. You step on that gas, you're hooked.
Yep. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So I went for a ride in a naturally aspirated one a few weeks ago. I've mentioned a story 6 times on this podcast, but when you rev that thing out, it sounds like a bat out of hell.
His has got cams, so it lopes.
Yeah, he told me he heard it. Didn't you say you pulled up next to it the other day or something?
No, I was coming back from Canterbury and I heard him pass me. I'm like, damn, that thing sounded insane.
It's got the drag pack on it. The front tire's only about 4 inches wide. The back tire's a 300.
Yeah, just ridiculous. I've seen that car around town. I think the second or third time I saw it, I'm like, oh, that's really loud.
Yeah, it's loud.
Yeah, it'd be sweet to see that thing have a pair of twins on it.
Oh yeah.
because that's the platform.
He's he was the fastest in the neighborhood. Then I bought the GTR, and then we told him my GTR is only 700 horse, so he brought his R8 out, and then he took off, and I stepped on it and just right past him, and he's like, "Yep, selling the R8. I'm over it."
But that's the thing, you could build the shit out of those R8s too. It's
I
like
know.
ridiculous.
Really expensive. I mean, they're all expensive.
I mean, if you want a twin turbo and R8, it's like 70 grand.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's up there.
Yeah, but you also get triple the car.
I want to put bigger turbos in my GTR. It's like 14 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about this. Who were we talking about this? Like, it comes in tiers. Like, GTRs are kind of like that, 650 wheel, then you get to 800 wheel, then 1,000, then 1,400, and it's just,
Yeah.
it just keeps going. Then you start talking about six-figure invoices, just gets ridiculous.
You're getting up there.
Yeah, dude, that's freaking nuts. Do you have any, what are you aspiring to get next car-wise?
Gee, I've been looking around for I think my ultimate car I wanted when I turned 18 was a Falcon F7.
Okay.
And it was like a twin turbo 1,200 horsepower V8. And I was like, that would have been so cool. It looked really cool. You'd have to Google what it looks like. But something different, something that's not around here, not an R8, not a McLaren, and nothing like that. I don't even know what I would get next. I'm satisfied with this GTR. It's just hard to come by. Maybe if something new came out, if Nissan unveiled a brand new R36, something like that.
It's weird, dude. It's such a weird time.
It's kind of a lull. There's not
a
really
lull.
anything new.
Because, yeah, it's weird. There's just rumors. Various brands are just kind of waiting to see how things shake out. I'd love to see a Gen 6 Viper. I don't think we'll ever see it.
No, absolutely.
If
not.
they bring it back as a V8
discontinued.
hybrid, yeah. But that's the thing. Brands do this all the time. Think about it. They discontinued the Camaro for a decade.
We're gonna think they discontinued the GTR 02
Yeah.
to fucking 2009.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other lull. The 2000 to 2008. A lot of brands came back and during the recession or just after, because the Challenger came back, the Charger came back. It's there was this lull. So I wonder what's gonna happen with Nissan. What's gonna be their next big thing?
Yeah, I know. What sucks about Nissan is I had a 2010 Nissan GTR, and I put it up next to a 2020. Only thing that was different was the headlights and the display.
Yeah.
Everything else is exactly the same.
Yeah, it's just like the 370Zs. They made them up to 2017, and they're no different than the ones in 2009 or what.
Yeah, 09.
Same interior. It's
Everything.
just the exterior styling.
Just a little facelift.
Different taillights, different headlights, little different grill, same thing.
Freaking nuts, dude.
Yeah, Nissan just loves keeping things the way that they are.
Yep.
Yeah, what about the Challenger, Sean, Mr. Mopar?
What do you mean?
The Challenger's been the same since 2008 as well.
Well, they just canceled it. Oh, actually, no, that's not true. They did 2008, and then they updated it in
The facelift,
2012.
but you could,
It's not a facelift because they did a whole new drivetrain. They did a all new interior, whole new exterior. That's not a facelift.
listen, Stacy down at Dairy Queen isn't going to know the difference.
No.
Not at
Still
all.
looks the same.
Still
They
looks the same.
went from a 5-speed to an 8-speed. They went from a 6.1 to 6.4. and
Stacy will know
later
exactly
to
all that.
6.2.
She's going to be like, what's a 5-speed? Should we,
There's something wrong with you.
Is that a Hemi?
Yeah, so if you haven't listened to the show before, we like to ask our guests at the end of the show this one simple question. You just got to pick 3 cars. One of them's your daily, one of them's your track car, one of them's your show car. You got an unlimited budget. Your imagination's the limit. So you just gotta
pick
pick
3 cars,
Yeah.
unlimited budget, track, daily,
show car.
show car. Well, I'm gonna go unrealistic as all hell.
Yeah, that's exactly
My daily
the
is
point.
gonna be a Koenigsegg Agera.
There
Okay.
you go.
Perfect. Unlimited budget. Fits the bill.
My race car. I don't even know. I'd probably go F1, Formula One car.
Okay. Do you have any?
So far, you have the wildest answers.
Dude, people fail.
You really took the
open-faced race car, open wheels.
you really took the unlimited budget to heart and your imagination.
Dude, like if I could have these cars, I could go fuck around with
Exactly.
them. I would just go nuts.
I'm gonna take it one step further though. If you were to do an F1 car for a race car, would you do like one of like the V10s, like a V8 or what?
Oh,
like
V10, it's got to scream.
the V10
Oh,
Screamers?
Yeah, the Judd.
Yeah, it's got to scream.
None of these hybrid V6s.
No. And then I guess my show car. I don't even know.
You just pull up in the F1.
Right.
No, don't make it easy.
Show
No,
up
no.
in the Agera.
Yeah, what's gotta be
Trailering
a
the F1.
I don't even know.
like dude. There was a Resto Mod 69 Charger with a Hellcat motor, like
Yeah.
drivetrain yesterday at Medina Motorplex.
Ooh.
That was a sweet looking car, dude. Yeah, this is a tough one. Show like a lot of people struggle either on the day, like they struggle on one
All
car.
right, I got it. The Shockwave semi. The semi with an afterburner on it.
That'd be the show. That'd be actually sick as fuck.
Shockwave? Is that
It's a semi with 3
Transformer?
afterburners on it. No. It's a semi with it's like a drag truck.
Yeah, I've seen. Have you ever seen the videos of it, Sean? Like when it's like staging.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's just like oh god.
Dude, I love it when they get all showy. They're just like, poof, poof, poof. Like
You
a
start shooting flames out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, congrats. You definitely have the wildest answers we've ever had.
A lot of people try to be realistic, and it's like, no, you got an unlimited budget.
Unlimited budget. I'm rolling around in a Gara every day of my life. It's full carbon fiber body. I could drive in the winter.
Would you do? Would you do
Yeah,
that?
no rust.
Would you do that, or would you do the Gamera, the 4-seater? It's the hybrid though,
Yeah,
so
you put the baby in the back seat.
Nah.
Stick with the Agera.
2-seater all day.
Yeah. Sorry,
Seriously.
can't take the baby.
Yeah. Sorry, I can't. Actually, she can come. You guys stay here.
well, you could do what you could always do what AJ does, because like he rolls around that twin turbo R8. He used to have a twin turbo Lambo too. His wife would take one, he would take the other, and they had a baby seat, so they'd bring each of the kids. It's the most baller thing ever.
Yeah, when I had both GTRs, we went cruising, I think, once or twice, and she loved it. Was super cool. This me and her cruising, and they were both white, so we are both cruising our GTRs.
That's sick.
But then I sold it just to get rid of it.
So, is there any? Do you have any like social media or anything where people could find you or anything like that? Or
I mean,
anything?
most of my stuff goes through like Al's Drift Shop or my like my personal account. A lot of people tag me and stuff.
Right.
Most of the time, I don't post anything.
You like to be low key.
I just yeah.
So Al's Drift Shop, pretty
Yeah,
much.
they post like all my videos, and my lady posts my videos. But like most of the time, yeah.
Sweet.
I have an Instagram, but I don't really use it. You go on there and it's my
That's
car
okay.
in
That's
pieces.
I have the same problem.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I give Sean hundreds of photos. Never post them.
You
my phone's the same way, loaded. I got cool videos, ultimate, super cool things, and I'm like, sick. Close my phone.
Keep it for yourself. All right, Sean, where can people find you?
All right, everybody, you can find me on Instagram at 1MNMopar. You just check out the BMW and Durango on there, and other content hopefully soon.
Yeah, because we're going to be doing a rally this weekend. That's going to be freaking sweet. So we'll be posting a good bit on that. So it'll probably be too late by the time this episode goes, but you can maybe get lucky and shoot Daniel Balto a message if you want to go, if you haven't decided yet. It's going to be such a last minute thing if somebody does.
So last minute.
Yeah, I think there's going to be 20 cars going, though. I saw the lineup. I'll show you the lineup once we get off air here, but it's a sweet freaking lineup.
I can't wait.
As for me, I'm going to look directly at the camera for this. You already are on the podcast. You already found me at Monoxide, literally everything. Do me a favor if you want to stay up to date on everything from the podcast to the giveaways, all that fun stuff. Just go to monoxide.com, sign up for the newsletter. Other than that, thanks for coming on, man. That was a pretty sweet conversation. Sean, thanks for existing. See you all next time.